get ready to rumble. Hey! You have to wake up now. It's a beautiful show and it's going on. If you're not awake, it's going to pass you right by.
The show is, of course, Wake Up Nigeria, and it's 6 a.m. already, so why not just get set with us?
If you were still on your bed or you're still lagging around, well, you can chill, and just be a part of the show. Of course, it's going to be a 2-hour, 45-minute engagement. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. You are absolutely going to enjoy this one.
And that's our word to you this moment. My name is Titilayo Onyison.
Mike Messikenwa is mine. You can stream with us live. It's at tvcentertainment.tv. On Facebook, it's at TVC Connect.
Send in your comments as soon as you can with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, and that's for all social media platforms.
On Android and iOS stores, you can download our app. You can interact with us, engage with us, and also view us anywhere around the world once you have internet connection.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it is. It's the, what now, 10th? Yeah, it's 10th. And
the month is flying.
The month is flying, but you still have some time to do stuff, right?
Especially celebrating with people.
You still do.
We're going to be celebrating people today,
yeah,
especially
but
with regard to...
Yeah, just before that, Tokpa, you're looking nice this morning.
Thank you.
Well, I saw you. Where did you go to yesterday? I saw you. You were very, very happy to be somewhere.
Oh.
You're happy to be back somewhere.
I was happy to be back to Lagos.
Somewhere. All right. Okay, of course, like she said earlier, we're going to be celebrating you today. You know.
We'll be having a musical performance. We'll be having Mac P, a rapper and singer.
No, not that. That's not it all. Definitely. That's still, of course, our performance.
Mac P.
And then Itori Ugoji will be talking to us about the importance of time and attention when nurturing the family bond. Now, of course, you know that's parenting.
And then on to another performance. This time, it'll be coming from The Cult. Now, this is someone who's a lot of things, ranging from singer to music arranger.
Thank you for your grace. I glorify your name.
It's been quite a while I visited the dentist, but I know I've done it in the last year. Now, today we have a dentist joining us in the person of Dr. Dibia Nze. He's the Chief Dental Officer at DSS International Hospital. I'll be doing some
Talking about teeth sensitivity today.
Now you're taking all the cold and hot stuff.
Then later on, we have some entertainment news. Mike and Tokwe will be talking a bit about that.
Kadi Chomabi. And a performance and a chat will be coming up right after that. Saxophonist Mike Remu will be here in the house today.
Tuesday.
Yep.
I can't believe it's Tuesday. Yeah, my voice is coming back like little by little, like it's crawling back. Like you can see the joy.
So,
Oh, goodness.
Toke is my woman of the moment. We will use that for later on, just about but she's my woman of the moment.
Why do you say
I
that?
love what she did.
Wow.
We've had Toke here, we've had Yomi Black here, we know them. But Baba did something that just wasn't, you don't do. You don't do that. It's all over social media. Oh, you did jack it out, but man, I love the way she did it. She said, let me keep my crown.
Okay, Mike.
She
So,
did it.
you know,
did
whenever
it.
Mike starts conversations like this, it's like you're just tantalizing people.
Yeah, sure.
But,
sure,
you know,
sure.
it just,
We'll talk about it
just
later.
feels kind of unfair that we can't get to the bottom of it right
Right
now.
now.
Don't worry, we'll get
It's
to
not
it.
fair. We'll be right back.
So that's why we talk about highlights. We give you highlights. We'll give you highlights.
Yes.
Okay.
So this
Come
is part
back.
of the highlights. We'll get back to it on the coffee juice. So, Hopper.
Nice jacket.
Oh
Mike.
yeah. Thank you very
I
much.
really like this serious.
Thank you very
looking
much.
mic.
It was it's quite a deviation from yesterday. Yesterday was Black Monday, and there was a reason for Black Monday. So today we just decided to
Brown Tuesday.
mix it all up and let's see. It's contrast.
You're pulling it off.
You know that a serious-minded mic will fit you.
Serious-minded.
Yes.
Am I not serious?
Nope. Very serious.
That's not fair. You don't.
And she's new.
You don't
She's
say
new.
that.
She's
Who
already
said I'm not
picked
serious?
it up.
Who said I'm not serious?
You're not serious.
I'm seriously.
I'm serious.
Amazing. Now we're all
But like
preparing. We're all preparing for Christmas. Everybody's so I did it like a little preview of what Christmas shopping was going to be like. And I said preview because I was window shopping in a shop. You know, calculating how much I'll actually need as opposed to how much I actually have. You know, and then
That's a balanced act.
as in honestly, and then so I gave my mom a call and I was like, oh, so do you know where I can get affordable what? She was like that she was planning to even call me to find out if there was a place you could get affordable. So the whole idea was getting rice before rice just gets too dear.
Yeah.
And it is really scarce. You can't get
Rice is scarce.
You can't get any imported products anymore.
Let's
It's really
Nigerian. Let's support
yeah, going
local.
Nigeria is
I
great.
said buy Nigeria to promote the Naira.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but
yes.
you know, when
Let's do that.
when you're not familiar with the Nigerian brands yet, you know, there are so many brands, Nigerian brands. They're like 20, 25 on the
this is
shelf.
what I
You're
say
like,
then.
which
Be like
one?
me and
This
eat
year I
eba
say
on
no.
Christmas Day.
What?
Very nice. Very nice.
Eat
And beans
eba.
or beans.
As in, eat
Beans is
seafood,
confirmed.
seafood okra.
Anywhere it comes. Beans is beans.
So no rice, just do beans
Or eba.
as
I
in,
bought one rice.
I think we're going
bought
to be
one rice
adjusting
like
our
that.
menu. But with that, we're going to be making some adjustments to make time for the news. And of course, Theo is on standby.
Good morning. Of course, guys, if you're talking about rice, we don't just buy made in Nigeria rice. It's very delicious. I have one at home. All right, President Muhammadu Buhari has nominated Muhammad Nami to replace Babatunde Fowler as the new chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. The nomination is subject to Senate confirmation. The president also approved the composition of a new board for the FIRS subject to the Senate's confirmation. The board is composed of a member representing each of the 6 geopolitical zones and statutory representatives from a select number of ministries and government agencies. He replaces Fowler, whose term of office expired on Monday, 9th December 2019. The outgoing FIRS boss is expected to hand over to the most senior director on the board, who will take charge pending the Senate's confirmation of the new board. And on the day of this major reshuffle, staff at the FIRS headquarters in Abuja were seen going about their normal activities. President Buhari's announcement came at a time when financial experts could not say for sure whether Mr. Fowler's term would be renewed. Let's look at the brief profile of the new FIRS boss.
Federal Inland Revenue Service boss Muhammad Nami attended Bayero University, Kano, and Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in sociology in 1991 and a master's of business degree in 2004. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Institute of Debt Recovery Practitioners of Nigeria, and associate member of Nigeria Institute of Management and Association of National Accountants of Nigeria. He started his career with PFK in 1993 and rose to the position of a senior consultant in charge of tax management and advisory services. He is currently the managing consultant of Manam Professional Services, a chartered tax practitioners and business advisors based in Kaduna, Abuja, and Niger State. The outgoing chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service, Babatunde Fowler, was appointed in August 2015 after he served as chairman of Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. Under his watch, Federal Inland Revenue Service recorded an improvement in revenue generation for the government. In 2016, the agency generated 3.307 trillion naira. 4.027 trillion naira was recorded in 2017, while in 2018, FIRS generated the sum of 5.320 trillion naira, the highest revenue ever recorded in the history of Federal Inland Revenue Service. Yusuf Akogu, TVC News, Lagos.
The Department of State Services has sent a delegation to the Federal High Court to apologize for their invasion of the court as Amoyle Showore appeared before the judge. Lead counsel to Mr. Showore confirmed this to TVC News. This revelation comes 2 days after the DSS denied invading the courtroom to arrest Mr. Showore. The Secret Service had said its men were stationed outside and the pandemonium in court was caused by Mr. Showore's supporters. Mr. Falana joins us, now he actually said something about it in our news bulletins.
I think after the denial, I want to believe that the State Security Service was confronted with the actual reality and then came to the conclusion that the most honorable thing to do in the circumstance was to apologize. And I've confirmed that this afternoon, a powerful delegation of the agency of the State Security Service visited the headship of the leadership of the Federal High Court to apologize for the invasion of the court on Friday. I had already informed Nigerians yesterday that indeed an apology was tendered on Friday in my presence over the unfortunate invasion of the court. And I do hope that two senior journalists who have spoken on behalf of the government and have bought or swallowed hook, line, and sinker the earlier press statement by the State Security Service to the fact that, oh, the whole thing was made up, she will arrest people, we're still managing what happened on Friday. We will have to apologize to Nigerians if indeed they are made to realize that the management of the State Security Service had in fact gone to the judiciary to apologize for the invasion of the court on Friday.
Meanwhile, a coalition of over 200 civil society organizations has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to release Mr. Sowore and other individuals being held without justification. They want President Muhammadu Buhari to show commitment to the rule of law or face mass action and civil disobedience. The CSOs issued the ultimatum in Abuja during a press conference on the state of the nation entitled Nigeria's Troubling State of Affairs. And to security matters now, the Nigerian Army has rescued 31 persons comprising 14 women and 17 children from Boko Haram militants in Bama local government area of Borno State. This was made known by the Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Iliasu. The troops killed a number of Boko Haram terrorists while several others escaped with gunshot wounds during the encounter. According to Colonel Iliasu, the combined troops of Operation Lafia Dole also uncovered the Boko Haram enclave at Malam Faturi in Abadam local government area and engaged the terrorists at the enclave. Two AK-47 rifles, two AK-47 rifles magazines loaded with 13 rounds of special ammunition and 3 unexploded mortar bombs were among ammunition taken from the militants. And that's it on the news update for this hour. Let's bring you the weather forecast for today.
And we're going to be taking the headlines starting with the Nation newspaper. And it says here, row grows over Sowore as presidency groups clash. Rights bodies to occupy NHRC offices. It also says here, INEC, AGF, Omagege, OK Electoral Act Amendment. It says here also, Lawan, power privatization fraudulent. At the top here, Desani's ally loses oil firm over 29 billion naira debt. Amcon takes over. A sad one here. Gunmen kill Maersk MD's wife. 2 suspects held. Joshua dreams of title defense in Nigeria to battle Ruiz once again in May. That's what we have on the cover of the Nation.
On the cover of the Punch, we have Oshomole's fate. Government plots to install Buhari's successor. On bullet points, we have, we can't shut governors out, says National Vice Chairman, and State Chairman's meeting with Buhari to save APC chair. At the bottom here, we have Soyinka demands Bola Ige's murder probe report. That's on page 7. At the top, we have electronic collation transmission of results possible in 2023 by INEC. And we also have Federal government, Russian firm signs MOU on Ajaokuta in January by the minister. Back to the bottom, we have estate electrician accomplice attack Maersk MD kills wife on page 4 and 5. That's it for the Punch.
It's a really sad story, that
Really
attack.
sad.
Really sad one. It was all over social media, you said.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. We'll take the Guardian newspaper next. It says here, Buhari DSS get ultimatum to free Shore, Dasuki, others. Foreign Affairs Ministry downplays comment by U.S. lawmaker. How activists ordeal forced deferral of award to Osinbajo. Story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 6. It also says here, Nami replaces Fowler as FIRS boss. In the power sector privatization fraudulent, it says, Lawan alleges. Soyinka CSOs urge vigorous intervention in corruption fight. Page 4 has more on that. Assailants attack Maersk MD, stab wife to death at Ikoyi residence. Woman sentenced to death for killing co-wife, 7 stepchildren. My goodness. Senate panel, Akpabio face-off over NDDC. Gets messier. Senator demands facts of 1 billion naira consultancy jobs claim. They're afraid of forensic audit, says minister. Interim panel should never defend budget. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Well, on the cover of Vanguard this morning, we have Showere's re-arrest, Amnesty International CIRAP, others threaten mass action. Issue 14-day ultimatum to federal government on his release. Demand apology from federal government over desecration of federal high court by DSS. Down we have Ohaneze, Niger Delta Group, flay IPOB for attacking Amechi. Also we have quack doctor jailed 54 years after 15 fatal surgeries. Now you can see that on page 6. At the top we have electrician attacks Maersk MD murders wife in Lagos. And we also have Soyinka asks DSS to produce detainees list, says anti-graft war offensive without openness. That's it. We have for the Vanguard.
The Maersk story seems to be on almost all the papers.
All the papers.
You know.
It's a real tragedy, to be honest.
We have the Daily Sun up next. It says here, Buhari gets 14 days ultimatum over Shore. CSOs threaten mass action. Wale Soyinka Center postpones award to Osinbajo in protest. Lawan asked federal government to declare state of emergency in power. Meanwhile, right beside the masthead here, it says federal government directs Accountant General, MDAs to publish daily financial statements. Page 37 has more on that. Just beside the photo story here, it says FIRS, Nami replaces Fowler. Experts want new boss to deploy EVAT, swell taxpayers' base. Woman to die by hanging for killing co-wife, 7 stepchildren in Ebonyi. And finally, Serap challenges governors to disclose pension payments to ex-governors, others. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun. And that's all we can take on the headlines and papers for now. We're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll be back with traffic. Welcome back. It's about time for us to give you some tips on the best route for you this morning. Hopefully, we'll be getting you to your destinations faster. As always, we try to encourage you to help other people on the road by dropping some relevant traffic reports on all our social media platforms. If you can, please use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria as you do so. Now, I have the route, should I say route? I'm not sure which one is correct these days, between Ojorubega and Marina Road. Now, this is a route that is plowed by so many every single morning. And today, the first advice I would give is to avoid the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway as much as you can. Now, the quickest way to avoid it is to go through Alausa and come out through Oregun, at the Oregun junction, to come out after Ojota, the main Ojota bypass. So if you are coming from that area, you might want to take an alternative route. For some reason, there's about a 20-minute delay between Bega and Ojota Junction, where you come off the expressway there. So that's the first piece of advice. Once you get onto Ikorodu Road, you have plain sailing along Bayo Shodipo all the way past Anthony bus stop, or should we say Anthony? Obani Koro seems very free right now until you get to Onikpan, Shomolu, Fadeyi. Those places are going to set you back about 10-15 minutes on the roads. But once you get to Jibo and you climb over the bridge, you're free all the way across Western Avenue, all the way past Teslim Balogun Stadium. Now, after that, Alaka, for some reason, is ultra slow. It's just completely at a standstill. But hopefully it won't delay you for more than 10-15 minutes. As long as you're still on that particular route and you haven't decided to park your car and pray to God for a free road, you will get to your destination in 1 hour and 4 minutes if you leave Bega now and head towards Marina. No other major trouble spots on the road there, but hopefully it'll stay that way until you get to your destination. Now we have Mike and Tokwe in the kitchen there, hopefully with some tweets, updates with regard to traffic.
Yes, I do have some tweets from Traffic Butter. Now, as at 17 minutes ago, there's a breakdown of two vehicles towing each other around Unilag area, causing very slow movement on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. Also, it says take alternative routes. Abeokuta Express Road going to Ikeja along is a gridlock there. Also, I have the traffic build-up this morning at Cement Bus Stop. Abeokuta Expressway is terrible. Stand still from 5:30 a.m. Do you have anything, Mike?
Yeah, that's about the same
All right,
handle that we have there. But that will be the one about on 3rd Mainland Bridge about the vehicle that went to tow another one and all of that. So definitely, if you have to use 3rd Mainland Bridge, you can't avoid that one. But at this point, it should be faster than using the corridor road at this point.
All right. Okay, so I also have some updates for those who are heading east. That's from Ajah all the way down to Bonny Camp. Now, that's a journey that usually takes quite a long time. We've had traffic reports of 2 hours, 1 hour, 45 minutes. But this morning, it's 1 hour, 10 minutes if you get up and go now. For some reason, Ajah all the way to the bus stop is free along Ado Road. It's all the way free until you go, just keep going all the way. For some reason, it's just really free until you pass, until you get to Chevron Junction. So Chevron Junction is what's slowing people down immediately after the toll gate around Lekki Conservation. And that delay is exactly 25 minutes. And that's a long delay. To be on one road, it is a really long delay. If you can find an alternative route somewhere through Lekki, if you have a choice, take it. You'll probably shave off about 5-10 minutes from your traffic. But it goes all the way past Elegushi Junction. The traffic goes all the way to Freedom Way. And that's where it frees up a little. It'll free up for you all the way till Marua bus stop, where it slows down yet again. And from there, just expect a little bit of a slowdown around Lekki Phase 1 roundabout. It's still a roundabout, right? It's not a junction yet. It's still a roundabout. And then, of course, as always, the Lekki toll gate, Lekki Phase 1 toll gate traffic. It's not so bad this morning, but all in all, that's where the major trouble spots are before you get to Falomo Junction. Once you get to Falomo Bridge, it slows down, but then speeds up all the way across Ozumba and Badiwe. And it is free all the way till Bonny Camp. All in all, from Ajah bus stop all the way to Bonny Camp is at an amazing 1 hour and 10 minutes. That is really incredible for a Tuesday morning. I've seen worse traffic reports than that, I have to say. But hopefully, we'll get to a point where it is just 5-10 minutes journey from junction to junction, and we won't have to talk about this anymore. But that's the update I have from Aja to Bonny. Mike, I'm not sure if you've been able to find any other updates.
No one yet.
No more updates? All right then, hopefully we've been able to help someone out there on the road. I'm gonna go and help myself to some tea in the kitchen.
All right. So yeah, we teased the Toke story. Of course, it's an offshoot from Cardi B's visit to Lagos. You just mentioned something which you posted,
Cardi B made a post saying that she's missing Nigeria.
The banter, this is the latest iteration of the banter, Nigeria versus Ghana. Man, it's bloody. Like, so we are wounding Ghana anyhow.
I think Ghanaians should just give up.
We're wounding Ghana, but you know, our brothers, you can only yab your brothers and all of that.
Like,
so
it's not that deep, really.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep,
But it felt deep. It felt very deep. At a point, it felt deep in comparison. So Cardi B was giving serious updates on her Insta story. And that lady has 55 million followers. And when she got to Nigeria, I watched in 24 hours, she had another 500, or rather 55 million, okay, 55.5 million in 24 hours. So it was 55 million. Then 0.5 added in 24 hours. So I was just like, okay, you know what? Something just happened.
Nigeria is famous.
And she was showing us, you know, the hotel rooms where she was staying. She was really letting us into her world. And I'm just like, okay, this is good. And then she gets to Ghana and they're giving her loads of gifts. Like all the gifts, I was like, oh wow, they're giving her gifts and everything. And then next thing, she's doing a video in the dark. And that just floored me. Why was it dark where she was? And she was trying to put a message out there. That was a message. It's Cardi's way of saying, you know what?
I don't know about that. Then
subliminal messages
so,
there.
Yeah, so the gist now is Toke and what happened with Yomi Black. And I must say that this is like another level, and I feel like she did well calling him out. Oh, wow. Very well. Like, she did very well.
Why would you start the gist from the beginning?
Okay, so from the beginning, Toke made a post about celebrities, and she wasn't calling out anyone in particular, but just saying how Cardi B owns herself, owns everything she is. She doesn't try to hide anything, and she's like, celebrities need to kind of like own stuff that they do, and she mentioned different things. And then Yomi Black comes and says, you know what, why don't you tell us the source of your money, because we know it's not from radio, we know it's not from TV, we know it's not acting, we know it's not endorsements. Okay. And he does pretty much, that's a summary of what he said. And then Toke Makiwa comes back and says she's just going to let off her crown for a bit, and just so she can address it. And she takes a screenshot of when Yomi Black came in 2017 to tell her how much he loved her, and a fan love. Okay. And then she just comes at him. So I want to know why Mike.
It's good. Okay, so she mentioned some other things. She said she would have put up some other things, and we've seen we've seen projects they've worked on together. Okay. Okay. And she clearly stated, "Look, man, this guy, I have been there for you when you've owed vendors at your events or whatever you do. I've paid people for you." Wow. In fact, she went on and on about things that they've been doing, and then we've seen where they've worked on projects. We've seen them at events where she was there. Then she said, actually, that the last interaction they had was he wanted to do something, and he asked her for some bags. Okay. For some of her TM bags, which are quite expensive. I don't know how much they are. And she said, for this one, nah, it's kind of business, and it's very, very risky. And the next thing she hears, or the next time, was this guy coming up on social media to try to throw dirt on her.
Oh, wow. But you know that, not like I'm taking anybody's side, to be honest. I don't care about any of them. To be very honest. Wow. I just feel like in a story, there's three sides. There's your side, there's my side, and there's what actually happened. Now, to be honest, still not taking sides. He had a question. It's not like in Nigeria, we like making people's matters our business. So now he's saying she should tell us where she gets her money from. Really, it's not our business where she gets her money from, because you're not going to ask where I get my money from. I don't owe you an explanation. But if they are guys, as they say that they are guys, I don't know why you're coming out to say, tell us where you got your money from. And if he says, tell us where you got your money from, then she didn't answer the question.
Why should she answer? Like you said.
She doesn't need to answer, but then does she also need to
do all that she
Yes, it hurts, because they actually had a very strong personal relationship. That's what she said.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So
his side versus her side.
And so we are basing our views on those reports up until something else comes up. For now, She brought up those receipts, and then we have seen them at events. So people brought up videos of them working together, and they actually have been working together over the years.
So, in other words,
so we brought up
him
events.
calling
So-
her out is just some personal
and
beef.
and
That's
she's
what
like,
she's
and
boiling
of
it
course
down
she goes down. It's the same thing. Like, you can't be, and it's not only her. So you have a case of, it was Peter of P Square the other time who had someone come out and insult him, and he just brought up a DM that this guy just sent me a message just now. It's a narrative, it's a normal story where people come up on in front and, oh, Peter did this rubbish, and then they go in there, bros, I beg, I need 2K for this stamping. Do you understand?
I understand.
And he just went back. So that's what we're saying. Like, this one is even a deeper level of this thing. This is like deeper.
But
like,
to be honest,
why do you go
I
up?
feel
Why
like
do you go up and
Nigerians, we have a poverty mentality, not in poverty in sense of money. I was having this conversation in the makeup room, but we are poor in our minds because the fact that you would just sit down and write all this, another person sit down and write all this. I just feel like we have productive time to be doing more productive stuff
I beg
than
you.
wanting to know
No,
why
I don't
someone
agree with that
has-
one. See,
I don't think he
even the
wanted to
US,
actually
Qatar,
know.
they
He
write
just-
more.
He
They
just-
write
that's
more.
what I'm
If it's a
saying.
writing, they write
I'm
more.
I'm not talking about
Qad-
countries.
It's a
I'm
publicity
just saying
stunt
we
now.
should.
They
We're
write
talking
beef.
about it, aren't we?
Nah, they write.
See, Yomi
look,
should just bring out something. Let's know.
There
why
might
they
be a
did
flyer
this.
for a
We
comedy
should
show
release
coming
a
up
movie. We
soon.
should release something.
Flyer, public,
So
which
we
one
can
publicity?
just
saying, I'm
Baba,
just
Baba,
saying.
see, look, my point is, if you do have it, and if you really feel like there's some things that you can talk to some people personally, and that's where a lot of celebrities have said. There was the other, last time it was who? I can't remember, what's her name now? Who said, look, you're my friend, why do you have to carry this out? If you bring it down now, let's talk about it. Why you have to bring it out? You took the shot, and everybody goes, it's true, Toke, you've been doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that stuff? So let me go. So she had to go all out, and for me, man, nice one. Go all out.
She called, wow.
Go all out,
Okay,
man.
Mike.
I actually thought
All
he
out.
would be backing up his guy,
All
but
out.
he's on the other side this time.
All out. It's
But
not about it, guys.
you know what? Anything to do with social media is very delicate.
Very.
Keep your private stuff private, people.
Exactly.
Please.
Bring it out. We like to hear it.
We have to take a quick break then. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Yep.
There's so much.
We have a performer now. Mac P is taking it right up, of course. Ogenekume, Prosper. But then, Mac P. How you doing, Mac P? All right, so Mac P, what are you performing for us this morning?
Carmelita.
Alita.
Carmelita.
Carmelita. Delta's first song. Are you from Warri?
Yeah, I'm from Delta State.
Wait, what part of Delta State?
Isoko to be precise.
Hey, Isoko, Ado. Yeah, take it away, man.
Never secure like you. Nobody fight past you. You give me love back. I like this your back. Never secure like you. Carmelita.
Now we have but one job to ensure that you have a good morning.
I will definitely do that job quite well. We've been at it for a whole hour. But if you're just tuned in, then you have come into the best place to be this morning.
We're mentally counting down to Christmas, and we know you are as well. You're
Definitely.
counting the days, counting the pennies.
Definitely, definitely.
Counting.
Anyway, I spoke about Dirty December. Dirty December is about having bar to mixing things happen.
Oh, that's
so
what it
if
means.
you don't have money, it's going to be a clean December.
It means person is not really having that much money.
Like,
Wow.
that
Really?
really sweet. But anyway, you might really want to stay tuned, of course, to TVC all through this period. Now, trust us, we have you covered. There's a lot of giveaways we're giving across different shows.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to tell you the shows, but we're going to be doing some stuff, so stay tuned.
We're preparing for you. We have
Yeah.
gifts to give to all of you,
Yeah.
and we appreciate you for tuning in every single morning.
Yeah.
Once again, a good morning to you. My name is Titilayo Onyison.
I'm Mike Messi Kennel. We're streaming live at tvcentertainment.tv on Facebook. It's at TVC Connect.
Send in those comments, people.
Yeah, please do.
On all our social media platforms. That hashtag should be second nature to you by now. Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
Of course, you can also watch us via our app. It's available to download on Android and iOS and watch us anywhere. anywhere around the world once you have internet connection.
We have a new chef in the kitchen,
Yeah,
Mike.
she's making her debut on the show.
Yes. So we know who Mike is going to be very interested in later on. Zokwe
I think
is
we have to
also.
come up with a new way to welcome chefs. So Chef Duchess in the building.
That's Ogele girls. Have you joined? You have learned to, you know there's Ogele boys. Don't you have learned your Ogele girls. Hello, Chef Duchess. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yes,
welcome.
Chef
Yes.
Duchess.
You're welcome. She's a vegan. She's vegan, eh? Chef Duchess, you want to tell us about that?
Yes.
Oh, what I'm
You're
making today?
vegan?
Vegan.
Sorry?
You're vegan.
You're vegan.
Yes, I'm a vegan.
Oh,
Yeah.
a Nigerian vegan.
What's the
Yes.
difference? I've always wanted to ask. What's the difference between
The
a
difference
vegan
between
and a
vegetarian and vegan.
Yes.
Oh, okay. A vegan is someone who actually abstains from all meat products.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not just not eating it, not using it. For example, not eating leather, using leather materials for
Fur.
yeah.
And like, goodness me. And then anything
talk more.
processed, I believe.
We'll talk
Now-
more about that.
We have to talk more about that.
Well, all right. We have also on Parenting this morning, Toru Goje will be discussing the importance of time and attention when strengthening family bonds.
Yes, so. Period. You have to put that one there. Strengthening the family bond has never been more important, and this season is one of the best times to do exactly that. And then we have a musical performance from singer and song arranger, The Cult.
Thank you for your mercies. Thank you, thank you.
On Health Today, Dr. Dibia will be discussing the causes and solutions to tooth sensitivity. I have to see my dentist this.
Honestly, everybody goes through that though. That sensitive
At
teeth
some point
thing.
or the other.
Ooh, goodness me. And we'll still have more. We have the scoop on our celebrities and what they've been up to over the past weekend. Mike will bring us up to speed on that.
And then, of course, there is a performance from saxophonist Mike Aremu, and we will also have a chat with him after that.
You know, the first time I ever saw a Nigerian play the saxophone was actually Mike Aremu I saw.
Okay, that's so.
Yeah,
okay.
I actually saw a live performance of the sax.
Okay.
Not obviously on TV. We had, oh goodness me, the guy, why is his name Kenny G?
Okay.
Kenny G, and you know what we used to, there was this particular station that used to have his music playing as their signature tune.
Signature tune, okay.
Every evening for a long time, if you can remember, at night. Well, I'm talking to Mike here. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm that young. It's fine.
But it was just
I don't know
so
what you're talking
interesting.
about, 22.
You know you're my uncle,
We all
Mike.
know that you're
Wow.
the oldies.
Yeah, my
When
uncle.
you're looking for a new school, you come to me.
We are millennials, you know.
Who is
So
that?
it was just so interesting to me to see a Nigerian, like someone like actually
really?
playing that instrument. It was just out of this world for me. Yeah, really.
So what do you think we're playing? Oh boy.
I'd seen talking
Mouth
drum.
organ.
I'd seen keyboard.
Come.
I'd seen so many things.
Chef, yeah.
I just never seen the sax.
And then,
That was wild.
but the one that really gets to me when I say saxophone is when they have that stretch. You know, when they play and they hold their breath for like
Yeah.
5 minutes,
They hold a
10
note.
minutes. So
Yeah.
there's a technique to it.
I
know,
think they're holding the notes. I don't know if they're actually holding their
Yeah,
breath.
they're holding the notes. It's not their breath because Femi Kuti once spoke about it when he did it and all
okay,
of that. So
okay.
different people they have it. There's a technique. So it's prolonged and sustained. They catch. There's a way they catch the breath, but it's holding the notes, like you said. It's not the breath. But then you see some guys, you know, there's some people that can hold their breath that long ago. Do you know why I say breath?
Yeah.
I've been seeing these riverine fishermen.
Oh,
Mike.
wow.
When they enter inside the water like
Seriously?
this, they can stay there.
See me
In fact, some can
thinking-
stay there for like 20 minutes.
I thought you were going to talk about Beyonce because Beyonce has a breath exercise.
She does.
That she can actually hold her breath for almost a minute. It's crazy. You should Google that. Yeah.
All right, but let's have a head over to the news now. And Ilama is in standby.
Good morning and welcome to the news. A coalition of over 200 civil society organizations has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to release Mr. Sowore and other individuals being held without justification. They want President Muhammadu Buhari to show commitment to the rule of law or face mass action civil disobedience. The CSOs issued the ultimatum in Abuja during a press conference on the state of the nation entitled Nigeria's Troubling State of Affairs. And to security matters now, the Nigerian Army has rescued 31 persons comprising 14 women and 17 children from Boko Haram terrorist militants in Bama local government area of Borno State. This was made known by the Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Ilyasu. The troops killed a number of Boko Haram terrorists, while several others escaped with gunshot wounds during the encounter. According to Colonel Ilyasu, the combined troops of Operation Lafia Dole also uncovered a Boko Haram enclave in Malam Faturi in Abadam local government area and engaged the terrorists at the enclave. 2 AK-47 rifles, 2 AK-47 rifle magazines loaded with 30 rounds of special ammunition, and 3 unexploded mortar bombs were among ammunitions taken from the militants. And let's continue with a military plane with 38 on board, which has disappeared en route to Antarctica, as released by Chilean Air Force in a statement. The C-130 Hercules transport aircraft went missing around 6 a.m. local time after taking off from the southern city of Punta Arenas. Among the missing are 17 crew members and 21 passengers who were traveling to provide logistical support. Chile's Air Force said a search and rescue operation is underway to recover the plane and those missing. Search and rescue operations are continuing in New Zealand's White Island early on Tuesday after a volcano erupted on Monday afternoon. At least 5 people have been confirmed dead, and authorities have warned that they don't believe there are any survivors on the island. 47 people were on the island at the time of the eruption. 8 remain missing, according to authorities. 34 people survived, with 31 still receiving treatment in a hospital. Among those hit by the eruption are people from New Zealand, Australia, China, Malaysia, the US, and the UK. Still outside Nigeria, House Democrats plan to move forward with at least 2 articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump today. One on abuse of power and the other on the obstruction of Congress. Democrats plan to unveil the articles of impeachment on Tuesday morning, when we'll begin debate on them in the Judiciary Committee on Thursday. The announcement on Tuesday will come a day after Chairman of Congress Jerry Nadler accused Trump of putting himself before country at the hearing kicking off a 2-week sprint for Democrats likely to end in the 3rd impeachment of a president in U.S. history. Now it's another defining week for talks on climate change taking place in Madrid, Spain. And since it began on December the 2nd, ways to address the hazardous impact of climate change, especially with the accelerating effects being witnessed globally, have topped discussions at the conference. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the global response to climate change is inadequate and there's a need to take urgent action to save the planet. Activists are using the opportunity to call for the sanctioning of big polluters by making them pay more for the damage they cause planet Earth, as prediction of global carbon emissions indicates that it could hit a new record this year. And that's the news update for this hour. Stay tuned for it.
How's it
All
going
right,
over
so
there?
Chef Duchess is in the
Yes.
house, and yeah, I was spoken earlier. You're a vegan,
Yes,
and
I
the
am.
chef. Does that limit you in any way?
You know, that's the misconception. Everyone thinks that because I'm not eating meat,
Okay.
yeah, that I don't have food to eat. Because people who...
Okay, so what is that? For instance, somebody
Yeah.
that wants meat now, immediate food, would you prepare it?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Not even for $1 million.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's based on principle. You
Based
wouldn't
on
do that,
principle.
no matter the amount.
No.
Wow, I
Yeah.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so today, what are we preparing?
Okay, we're going to be making akara tacos. And basically, it's supposed to replace your breads. A lot of people here eat, too
Bread.
much carbs and stuff. So it's a way to introduce more protein into your diet. Yeah.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. So you can take it in place of bread.
Yes.
And your carbohydrates and all of that. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. What are we dealing with? What are
Okay.
we working with?
We've got beans flour.
Okay.
Obviously, you can have your original beans.
Okay, but this one, can you just want to do akara?
Yeah,
this is the main one.
Yeah,
for
this is
doing
the mix
akara.
for akara, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
So Okay. Let me say, I can do akara. Those days,
Yeah.
so those days when you do akara, you know, we had to wash beans and do all the stress and all that. But these days,
I know,
everything
they've made it so easy for you.
sharp, 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 sharp.
You don't need to worry.
Let's talk about the other things we're using.
So, where you can spice it as much or as little as you want.
Okay.
So it's really up to you. So you can have like things like curry, thyme, pepper, you know, just the whole works. You can, you know, mix it with.
All right.
Yeah. So this is basically my salads. Wow. Yeah. So.
All right. So what
when
we have
we're
here?
done with the tacos,
Okay.
then we're going to use this as filling.
Okay, so what makes the salad? I see cucumber
we've got
here.
cucumber, we've got tomato, then we've got red and green peppers and onions.
And onions, and then of course the seasoning cube there.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to make this. You also have options. You mentioned that you can use oil and you can also
use
do without oil.
you can use oil. But this time we're going to try and do it without oil, just to keep it a lot more healthier. Okay,
so little oil or no oil.
Yes.
We're doing quite a lot here so that you have options to choose. Like you said, the spices also and all of that. Okay, so how do we start? What do we start up with?
Okay.
Well, we have
our pan.
And if you're not using oil, you mentioned something about the heat.
Yes, if you're not using oil, you need to keep your pan like on a medium heat. Not, you know, so that it doesn't burn or stick to the pan if you're not using like a non-stick pan.
Okay, but then if you're using oil, then maybe you can probably take it up a bit
just
higher or something like
depending on, because some people actually like theirs slightly burnt.
Okay.
Do you understand? Some people,
true. They like it crunchy or something.
Thank you. So
but
to achieve that,
when you say tacos, I'm thinking of
soft
the Mexican
tacos.
Style tacos with the whole ish inside.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the
yes, the base.
The base.
Yes.
And then this is what is going to be inside.
Yeah, going to be in the fillings.
Wow. This is some vegan stuff. But I can put meat if I want to.
Do you know what? That's on you. Yeah.
That's on me. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see what we can do now. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. How do we start up with this?
First of all, we have to put some water in our beans.
Okay, all right. Let's do it. How do you know how much?
I will show you the consistency.
Okay.
You know, like when you're making akara.
Okay.
It's slightly thick.
Okay.
But with this, you need to make it a little bit loose or a little bit watery.
Okay. So
it wouldn't be as
little, you don't just go the whole way.
No, you have to keep mixing until you get the right consistency. But because obviously I've done it before.
Okay.
I know exactly
what you need.
Yeah, but it needs to be like this. You know, just as if you're beating egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So at this point, you can put like any spices that you want
to put,
right? Like thyme, your salts, all those things. Like I don't eat salt, and to me,
I don't
eat salt.
There's a lot you don't eat. There's a lot you coffee. You eat fish?
No, I don't.
So if I bring croaker fish now, the one that are grilled,
you're on your own.
Spicy.
No.
Okay. All right. We're still having a wonderful time here with Chef Duchess in the kitchen. Well, like we said, we're doing akara tacos. We're still going to work on this. We'll just take this short break now. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Still much more on the show. All right. Okay, so we're still here, and we've already, so she put in a little bit of, you didn't get to see that, but she put in a little bit of more
spices, like some herbs.
Some herbs, we had some herbs. Okay,
like
can
rosemary,
thyme, and all of that. Yeah. Okay, and we put a little bit of the bean flour.
Yes.
To get the exact consistency that you want. So is this okay for you?
Yes, it is.
This is okay for you,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can see how it is.
Yeah, so probably, I don't know, how else, apart from seeing it, how else can you tell somebody the kind of consistency that is required for
like
this?
I said earlier, it's just like the same consistency if you're beating egg.
Okay.
Just that loose, not so runny, but still has some kind of resistance to
All right,
it.
so let's see.
Yeah?
Let's get started. Let's see what is this enough? Let's see what we can do here. Okay. And I hope this is not too. Okay, yeah, maybe. Let's see. Okay, all right.
All right.
I hope that's not too high.
Okay.
Let's make it a little bit lower. Okay, yeah. Mid range of whatever cooker you're using, eh?
Okay, so you go in like
Whoa. That. And is it preferable if you're doing the one without oil? Is it preferable to use a non-stick
It's better to use a non-stick because if you're not using a non-stick pan,
Okay.
then it wouldn't hold.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm saying,
Okay.
it will stick. So if you have a non-stick, you can just grease it. You don't need to like pour a whole lot of oil. Just use maybe your brush to just brush around just to make it a little bit more.
I might probably try this weekend. I don't know. Since everything is all done, I just have to mix spices.
Yeah.
I might probably want to try it. I might want to try this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should try it.
All right. So let's see how you watch this up until.
Yes, as you can see, it's
okay.
starting to cook. You can just see it
Yeah, definitely.
coming together.
I can see it.
And
I
it
can see
has kind of like the same consistency as a pancake.
Yes, like a pancake.
Yes, so
What
we're
if you
just
wanted to
waiting
do a
for it.
pancake
Yeah.
with prepared stuff? Is it the same flour used, or is there a different kind of flour for
yeah,
pancake?
you can use like wheat
Okay.
flour, yeah,
And all of that, and then after the ingredients that I would
even
need.
oat flour. There's all different kinds of flour.
Kinds of flour
Yeah,
that
that
you
you could use. Yeah.
Wow. You didn't tell me all of this. So Tope and Titi, you see, Duchess is just giving me all the lowdown now, and I'm prepared for some dirty December this weekend. Let's just try something new. Okay. So, but like you said, this is low. The heat is okay for you, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So basically, what you just need to do is to, yeah. So even
Okay, you have to be careful.
your pot is not really that non-stick.
Non-stick, yeah. We use it for quite a while, so we'll get this quite fixed up, all right? But then, do we take it out of the heat so that we can, it might help there?
Because we need to be able to flip it.
Okay, yeah, we need to be able to flip it.
Onto the other side.
Yeah, but then this is the idea. So if we have a little bit of issues with our non-stick, but ensure you use a non-stick. If you use a confirmed non-stick, this probably won't be happening. So yeah, you ensure that is on place. Okay, all right. So, but we'll flip it over.
Yes, we let it cool a little bit.
Okay, we'll let it cool a little bit.
Yeah, and then we can flip it.
Wonderful.
Over.
I like that. We always find a way to adapt to whatever situation. You can't catch us.
Not
Never
at all.
to be caught on fresh. Thank you, Duchess. We're still here.
Yeah.
But then let's head over. We have some parenting discussion coming right up.
Thank you so much, Mike. Now, in the studio with us, we have the amazing Itoro Ugoji. Now, she's the CEO and team lead at the Baby Lounge, a leading provider of innovative solutions to childcare. Now, she started last week on this topic, on the importance of nurturing the family bond, especially during the festive period. But right now, we're taking it further. We're discussing the importance of time and attention when it comes to children. Welcome back to the studio, Itoro.
Thank you, Titi. Thank you for having me again.
Now, we've had quite a few interesting discussions, but I think this one is really key for people to hear. The importance of time and attention. So time and attention are actually two different things. I feel like a lot of parents think it's the same thing. So let's see if we can break that down.
So time and attention, in a nutshell, it's being there and not being there.
Okay.
So time, you're spending time with the child, but you're not really being there. So it's about engagement. So what do you do with the time? So we keep saying it's not about the quantity of time, but the quality of time. So while you're with the kids, you have to make that time count, truly count. So how do you engage them? How do you interact with them? And it's really not, the expensive structured activities, seemingly mundane activities like, having, heart-to-heart conversations, asking about their day, or telling them about your own day, those are experiences and memories you're creating for the kids.
Okay, so you do have quite a few parents that are, I won't say guilty of, but are prone to making sure they, for instance, bring things home for the children. So, that question, okay, mommy, what did you bring for me? Daddy, what did you bring for me? And you give them something, even if it's plantain chips or something were buying on the way, maybe biscuit or whatever. Now, does this qualify as attention? So like, okay, when you get home and you've given them something, then you now go into your room and, you're good for the day. What do you think?
So that's just a little bit of, the engagement. So let's put it this way. You can actually have, quality engagement with the kids without those gifts.
Okay.
So how about your time? and your attention and your presence being the real gift. So, you know, the extra gifts, I mean, those are extras, you know, they're nice, you know, and then if you can afford them and if you remember to add them, that's a plus, definitely. But, you know, so you hear, that's why you hear kids saying, Mommy, I'm talking to you, you're not listening. So, you know, and if you actually engage those children, they'll prefer to have their parents, you know, over and above those gifts.
I would like to break down this festive period. Maybe we have a 1 week period to get a lot of things done. A lot of offices are closing down for the holidays, maybe 1.5 weeks in most cases. So over that 1.5 weeks, how much time do you think is adequate enough for parents to spend with their children?
If you can do the whole 1.5 weeks, fantastic. So again, we say it is not, you know, the length of time. It's, you know, what you do with, you know, the time that you truly have. And it's very important that you plan for this. You're intentional about it, because you'll be amazed at how the days slip by so quickly, and the holidays are over, and you've not created any real memories. You know, you've not had any experiences, you know, shared any real experiences with the children.
So now I'm thinking we could make some suggestions of activities that would make sense during this period. So I'm maybe a new parent now, and I don't really know how to get this engagement going. I don't know what exactly I could do with these children, apart from feeding and bathing them and putting them in front of the TV. A lot of parents don't actually know what to do with the children. Any activity suggestions?
So how about starting with those routines that you currently have? How about starting with the feeding, bathing, you know, and putting them to bed? Now, if we pick each of these activities, we could create a truly rich and enriching experience. So putting to bed, for example, how about reading, you know, books to them? Okay. How about listening to audio stories with them? How about just chatting with them, you know, telling them about your day and asking, you know, discussing their own day? How about just talking about anything? Okay, meal times, how about getting them to be involved with prepping the meals, setting the table? You know, there are fewer families eating together these days.
Yeah, the dining table things.
Absolutely,
not really
the dining
common.
experience is almost extinct. So how about, you know, being intentional about having those meals together as a family and chatting over those meals?
So there is that issue of parents having quite a lot of children. Now, there are, on an average, you could say 2-3 children per household and more. How does a parent divide themselves into 3 or 4 children and give them an equal amount of attention? It feels almost impossible.
So it's not about splitting the children and having individual interactions with them. You can have those interactions. You know, it just happens naturally. This is not, okay, so you would plan to actually have an experience with the kids, but it's not a timetable that you're creating for each child. So how about having, you know, spontaneous activities? Just make sure that, please keep your phones away.
Oh, the phones.
Keep the mobile devices away. Or reduce use to the barest minimum. Or get the children involved with, you know, when you're using your phones.
Okay. So it does seem to be eating into the time you could be spending.
Absolutely.
With
But
the
of course, ensure that, you know, whatever content that you're sharing on the phone is age appropriate and safe for the children.
All right then. Now, Itoro is going to be back again next week talking to us about strengthening this family bond. When it comes to time and attention, I just feel like there's never enough of it. Hopefully, we've given you some insight into what you can do this holiday with your kids. We have a musical performance coming up after this quick break. It's still Wake Up Nigeria.
Dr. Dibia Nze is the Chief Dental Officer at Desert International Hospital and a content creator and social media handler for Nigeria Dental Association. Now, he will be discussing the cause and solution of tooth sensitivity. Good to have you here, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. You know, like I said before we came on set, my dibia, my, what's the local word?
Babalawo. I get that every time, actually.
You do, right?
I get that every time.
Okay, so now we're talking about tooth sensitivity, the causes and solution. Now, can we delve into that?
Okay, so before we talk about tooth sensitivity,
Yeah.
the first thing we need to know is what's the definition?
Okay.
For us to define tooth sensitivity, we would say it's that shocking sensation that you
Yes.
feel whenever you take anything cold,
Yeah.
anything hot, anything acidic, or whenever there is any form of friction on your
The
teeth.
teeth, yes. For the layman, tooth sensitivity is that grrr, that grrr.
Exactly, that grrr
That grrr
that
feeling,
affects you.
yes, yes.
Now, understanding this, you need to come from the point where you understand what the tooth structure is like.
Okay,
The tooth is actually a living tissue.
okay.
And the reason why it's a living tissue is because it has the pulp. Now, the pulp needs to be protected.
Okay, wait. Me, I like to talk for the masses. You have to break it down to the level where the very, very average Nigerian understands the pulp and the tissues.
Okay, so let's look at it this way.
Yes.
You have the crown of the tooth. Now, the
Okay.
crown is what we all see when we
Yeah.
smile. So I'm seeing your crown. You're seeing my crown. Now, the crown has the enamel, which
Yeah.
is the hardest known substance in the body. So it's even harder than your bone.
Bones, okay.
Underneath the enamel, you have the dentine.
Okay,
Underneath the dentine, you have the pulp.
okay.
The pulp is where your nerves, your blood vessels,
Yeah,
everything that makes the tooth alive
Okay,
goes into the tooth. So essentially, your enamel and your dentine are there to protect the pulp.
oh, okay. Animal on dentine.
Now, for tooth sensitivity to happen,
Yeah.
anything that would erode the enamel and expose the dentine will cause sensitivity.
Sensitivity, okay.
Now, remember we said the enamel is the hardest
The
substance
hardest
in the
substance,
body.
yes.
So imagine the amount of force
That will get
or
to the
assault that the enamel must have gone through
Yeah,
before the dentine becomes exposed.
yeah.
The major culprits are toothbrushes.
Oh,
So for those of us who use very hard toothbrushes, it's a no-no. You see those very hard toothbrushes they sell?
yeah.
I think they are better suited for your sneakers, for your jeans, for your couch, everything except your tooth.
But sometimes, I mean, now I feel guilty. Sometimes the soft ones just feel like they're not washing the teeth very well.
Exactly. Your tooth did not go through crude oil. Your tooth needs to be tendered. So
Okay.
you see the soft and medium toothbrushes are the ones you should use.
Okay.
So use that and clean your teeth. Anything hard, over time, will just cause the enamel to erode, and then it exposes the dentine.
Okay.
Now, let me give you an analogy. If you had a car,
Yeah.
to protect it, you will most likely want to put an alarm system on your car. So let's assume that the dentine is the alarm system for the tooth.
Okay.
So whenever you feel that sensitivity, it's your body's way of giving you that alarm that, hey, something is happening.
Okay.
Something is getting to the dentine.
Okay.
The dentine should not be exposed.
Okay.
Now, one of the other ways you can have this exposure is constant consumption of acidic fruits.
So what are examples of fruits that we should avoid then?
No, I'm not saying you should avoid them.
Oh, we should reduce them?
Just reduce them and modify the way you take them. So things like
Okay.
lime,
Oh, okay.
pineapple,
Pineapple, okay.
oranges.
Oh, wow. Oranges.
Now, a lot of us, when we are taking these fruits, we just dig our teeth into them.
Boom.
Now, these things contain a very, very high concentration of acids. Over time, the acids will soften the dentine, or rather, they will soften the enamel,
Yeah.
and then friction will cause the enamel to easily just wear off, leaving your dentine really, really exposed.
Ooh. Okay, so now, like, how is there like a time span that this can happen, or if you take 3 oranges per day now, is there like, would you look at like in 5 years something like that can happen, or it just happens at its own pace?
It really does happen at its own pace, but at the end of the day, it still takes a lot of time.
Okay.
It takes a lot of time, so it's constant assault to the enamel that causes that sensitivity to happen.
Okay, so now, just before we round off this conversation, just for people at home, just to be aware, so apart from toothbrushes and fruits with acid that you should modify, what else causes the tooth sensitivity?
Things like tooth bleaching, which is a procedure we do in the clinic.
Oh, okay.
Now, we would bleach your tooth with variations of acids.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you there. But I'm sure he did point out a lot of interesting things that we should take note to protect our dental. And I feel so intelligent right now. But you could follow up with him and follow up with the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria. There's so much more to teach you on how to protect your tooth against tooth sensitivity. But we will be joining Titi and the Colt as they have an amazing performance for us.
Well, one thing I know is I'm going to be throwing away my toothbrush when I get home. Thank you so much, Doc. And now we have a performance coming your way right now. The Colt is here. Now he is about to perform his single, Not Enough. He's a singer, songwriter, song arranger, and of course performer, and has a mission to restore the consciousness of God in the minds of men through words and of course through music. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Looking so dapper this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, so I need you to use this. All right, fantastic. All right, so the name of the song you're performing?
Not Enough.
Not Enough?
Yes.
I mentioned that just now, actually. Yeah. But you need to give us a breakdown on what exactly is not enough.
Okay. Basically, I'm saying, even if all of your hair become tongues, that it's not enough to give thanks.
You know what? That's enough for me to say now. It's about time for you to perform. Go ahead.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your grace. Ozuginye, Ozuginye, Kekele, Ozuginye.
To Wake Up Nigeria.
And that's always the case, as long as you start the day with us.
Of course. We like nothing better than knowing that you are here with us as well.
We have another 45 minutes to go.
We do. It's 2 hours gone, man. At times it moves so fast that, like, yeah, cool. But at the same time, it moves fast when you're having fun.
My name is Titilayo.
Mike Mesikeno is mine. You can get online and stream live at tvcentertainment.tv. On Facebook, it's at TVC Connect.
Send in those comments. We can't wait to see them. We can't wait to hear from you. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And that hashtag, by the way, can earn you or win you some gifts this season.
Something special.
So you need to have that hashtag in the can.
Not just anything, something special.
Very.
You should also download our app. It's on Android and iOS store. And you can watch us via that app anywhere around the world once you have internet connection. You didn't get to see it, but Duchess has gone far on. Tokwe is there with her. We've gone far on with our akara tacos right there in the kitchen.
Akara tacos.
Yeah, with our akara tacos. Now we're doing the option with the oil, right? Tokwe, what are you doing there?
I'm just being useful.
Two have already been prepared.
Oh my goodness.
Tokwe, please leave there fast. I'm scared.
I'm so excited because I have so many recipes to try out this Christmas period. Like, I'm saying goodbye to rice. Now, akara tacos. Putting my cooking game on fleek.
Yeah.
Okay, they look nice.
Our chef today is vegan, so it's interesting to see what she's coming up with today.
They look nice.
Very interesting.
They look nice.
Now, we also have the scoop for you on our celebrities and what they've been up to over the past weekend.
Mike Aremo is here in the house with us. He's going to perform as well as have a chat with us, catch up with him, and find out what he's been doing.
You're wearing suits today, Mike.
Dark Mala.
There's a reason for you to look this way.
No.
Be this
Isn't it Mala? Mala is number 2 to Croaker. Croaker is number 1.
Okay.
When you carry those croaker like this, of course, apart from catfish, by the way, catfish is
wow.
specialty.
King.
King. So catfish, when you grill it, so there's different types. There's pepper soup. I had pepper soup,
Mike, you're wearing
catfish
suits
with
today.
potato.
There's a reason for you to wear
Pepper
suits.
soup with potato is
Yes.
nice.
It's nice, right?
So you have joined him.
I had it.
And then
So-
boiled plantain also is nice.
So
can't
you know what
relate.
happens? Hit me up on social media. I'll let you know where I got it, how I got it, and who you should contact. So pepper soup, and it was soaked. It stayed like 3 hours. So the potato had now soaked the pepper soup
Yeah.
with the catfish ingredient.
Everything's
When you taste the potato, you now melt in your mouth like this.
Wow, we have a vegan chef. In the
Wow, okay.
So my guy,
room. You should. You
no,
should
it's
try
fish now. It's fish. Fish is not meat now.
Nope,
No,
nope,
it
nope.
is considered meat.
Eh?
Yes.
Fish.
Fish is
When the meat
it's
can cut
considered
your teeth.
flesh. It's
Meat can
considered
cut your
flesh.
teeth. You can't do with fish.
You know what?
Anyhow, Mr. Musa, a big shout out to you. Know on Thursday we have a plan there. It's it's turkey, grilled turkey. I'm doing for Thursday. That's my director. But hey, come on, don't mind me. Let's head over to the news now. Of course, Theophilus Ilama is standing by.
Welcome to the news. A coalition of over 200 civil society organizations has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to release Mr. Showore and other individuals being held without justification. They want President Muhammadu Buhari to show commitment to the rule of law or face mass action and civil disobedience. Now, the CSOs issued the ultimatum in Abuja during a press conference on the state of the nation entitled Nigeria's Troubling State of Affairs. And to security matters now, the Nigerian army has rescued 31 persons comprising 14 women and 17 children from Boko Haram militants in Bama local government area of Borno State. This was made known by the Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Iliasu. The troops killed a number of Boko Haram terrorists while several others escaped with gunshot wounds during the encounter. According to Colonel Iliasu, the combined troops of Operation Lafia Dule also uncovered a Boko Haram enclave at the Malam Faturi in Abadam local government area and engaged the terrorists at the enclave. 2 AK-47 rifles, 2 AK-47 rifle magazines loaded with 30 rounds of special ammunition and 3 unexploded mortar bombs were among ammunition taken from the militants. And let's continue with a military plane with 38 on board, which has disappeared en route to the Antarctica, as released by Chilean Air Force in a statement. The C-130 Hercules transport aircraft went missing around 6 a.m. local time after taking off from the southern city of Punta Arenas. Among the missing are 17 crew members and 21 passengers who were traveling to provide logistical support. Chile's Air Force said a search and rescue operation is underway to recover the plane and those missing. Still outside Nigeria, search and rescue operations are continuing in New Zealand's White Island early on Tuesday after a volcano erupted on Monday afternoon. At least 5 people have been confirmed dead, and authorities have warned that they don't believe there are any survivors on the island. 47 people were on the island at the time of the eruption. 8 remain missing, according to authorities. 34 people survived, with 31 still receiving treatment in hospital. Among those hit by the eruption are people from New Zealand, Australia, China, Malaysia, the US, and the UK. House Democrats plan to move forward with at least 2 articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump today, one on abuse of power and the other on the obstruction of Congress. Democrats plan to unveil the articles of impeachment on Tuesday morning and will begin debate on them in the Judiciary Committee on Thursday. The announcements will come on a day after Chairman of Congress Jerry Nadler accused Trump of putting himself before the country at a hearing kicking off a 2-week sprint for Democrats, likely to end in the 30th impeachment of a president in U.S. history. And that's the news today on Wake Up Nigeria. Stay tuned.
All right, we have some scoop on entertainment stories and also some interesting stories. This one might interest quite a lot of people. Talk away.
Yes.
Wow, you want to take this? Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Hungry artists ate world's most expensive banana. A hungry artist ate world's most expensive banana, and the police had to intervene after his action caused a scene. The banana duct taped to the wall sold last week for $120,000 and was hailed as a symbol of global trade. The banana art piece, titled Comedian by 59-year-old Italian artist Maurizio Cattelan, was on show at the International Gallery Perotin at Art Basel in Miami. Catalan bought the banana at a local fruit market, then duct taped it to the wall. The banana was bought from Catalan by a French art collector and was being displayed at the Art Basel Gallery in Miami. However, the banana, which sold for $120,000, was ripped off the wall and eaten by New York performance artist David Datuna, 45-year-old, who calls himself a hungry artist. Let's take a look at that.
See about this one safe. Because I'm just looking at all the people. The people that bought the banana, the people that ducted the banana, the people that ate the banana, plus people that are sniping, all of you. Don't allow me to say what is my mind for all of you, right? Okay, but moving on from that, one on a very light note, Kanye West is in Miami for his new opera, Mary, where he was spotted with a bizarre and unique look. Now, the 42-year-old rapper was spotted wearing a baggy silver outfit with silver face paint covering his entire head. He was also seen with a number of other performers, all decked out in silver from head to toe. Kanye also wore matching silver socks and silver slides as he arrived at the event, which was held at Miami Marine Stadium on Sunday afternoon at the final day of Art Basel. Okay, what do you think about this, Tokwe?
Okay, now Kanye West has been up to a lot this period.
Like, man.
But this, I think it looks like a piece of art. Like he should.
Okay, so yeah, it was at the Art Basel. So I'm thinking he was trying to make an art statement. Yeah, he was trying to make a statement. And does it work for you?
I think it works for me because I'm all about adventurous. And this is so colorful.
It's attention drawing.
Yes, and it's good attention. I like the fact that, you know, in as much as he's a big personality, he still allows himself to do some crazy stuff.
Dude is eccentric to the core. Like, man, as in, do you really eccentric, man? This guy.
I love the color. You would just probably hear it's $120,000 now.
Probably. Right? It's no longer news that Cardi B will give updates on Cardi B. So it's no longer
B,
news, of course.
Sister Choma B.
Choma B.
Choma B. Now, the Grammy Award-winning rapper Cardi B had the time of her life in Lagos. The rapper, who visited Nigeria for the first time, visited a club with Nigerian-American artist Jidena on Friday night. The rapper shared snippets of her time in the club on her official Instagram handle. The self-proclaimed Queen of the Bronx performed at the Live Spot X Festival at the Eco Atlantic City, Lagos. The rapper was joined on stage by some of Nigeria's biggest artists like Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, Tenny, Niniola, and Wanda Cole. On her arrival, she shared her experience in the country with her 55 million Instagram fans. She also visited a motherless home in Lekki, Lagos, with tons of gifts bought from a Nigerian supermarket hours before performing at Live Spot X Festival on Saturday night.
Okay, so
Man, I thought you would've learned your lesson. Bow, like your pictures, not returning texts. I guess it's fine, man, I get the message. You still stutter after certain questions. You keep in contact with certain answers.
all right, so Cardi B, and there has been a whole lot of back and forth, but there's something I know. She does love Nigeria. You can't fake that.
You know,
kind
she
of
posted
stuff.
something today, or maybe, I don't know what time, the time difference.
Earlier on,
saying, I'm missing Nigeria.
I mean, like, we drained Cardi B. Like, by the time we're done with Cardi B, there was nothing left, man. She enjoyed the country. She had so much fun. She was loud on her Instagram, and it has caused so much of furor, there's been fights, there's been all of that, but generally
Yeah.
it was lovable. It was a wonderful
I
experience.
mean, even
for
if you
Nigeria
weren't
and for
at
her.
the concert she came for,
Yeah.
just watching from her Insta stories, her time in Nigeria, you
Mm.
would feel like you even know her personally because she was so relatable.
It's endearing. Like that's what a lot of fans want. When you can, they can
Yes.
feel the celebrities, and there's no. And there's a particular comedian who said something, and she put up a post. She was like, "Look, man, look at this girl. She's about one of the biggest stars in the world, and she is so down to earth. But then a little, some of us here will just get small hype, and then
Our
we'll be doing as
shoulder.
if there's boil under our
As
armpits.
in,
And we'll
where
be
I can
carrying
work.
this thing up and all of that. Okay, can we take this final one now?
Yes,
Of
we
course, Wizkid dropped a 7-track EP, and it was a shocker. But well, while others were asleep, Wizkid dropped a 7-track EP titled Soundman Volume 1. The pop star surprised listeners early Friday morning with the unannounced release. Though he has released a couple of singles this year, fans had been awaiting a new drop and more extensive project from the artist. Now, being so close to the end of the year, it didn't look like would get a new body of work from the artist till 2020, but it proved otherwise when he took to Twitter the early hours of Friday morning to share streaming links for the new project. He also announced that a second EP, Soundman Volume 2, would drop sometime before his highly anticipated upcoming album, Made in Lagos.
Ooh.
Now, fans and celebrities have been tweeting and talking about this work of art. Now, majority seem to love every song on the EP. I don't know if we have time to feel a little bit of the E EP.
Loving your energy, Africa woman. This I love you, know you want. You never let me go. Look around the world and you find no love. Anytime we gone.
That's it. That's all we can take on entertainment news now. Just before we have a chat with him, Mike Aremu is on standby to give us a wonderful performance this morning. Hello, Mike.
Wow, our next guest has a reputation that precedes him.
Yes, he is recognized as one of the front-running world-class saxophonists.
He's currently the most successful jazz export from West Africa.
And his music transcends age, race, and color, but he draws successfully from his traditional African roots to make a sound all his own.
Yes, indeed. And you heard him perform earlier.
Yes.
You heard him caressing that saxophone like as if it was his third arm. You know, I have to say welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Titi. And
I have to say it's an honor
yes.
to be in your midst.
You were saying Karazina. Her name is
is it hard?
Anita.
Anytime.
Yes.
Hi, Anita.
Hi.
Good to
So
have
nobody's allowed to touch Anita. Only nobody.
Sorry, no.
So Mike Aremu and the saxophone, they just go together.
Yes.
They always have. And you were telling us just before the break ended that you've been doing this for 27
I told you
years.
not to say that, so I don't look old.
Oh, no, you don't look old, though.
Yeah.
You look very young.
7 years.
Yes, so the
I
saxophone.
won't comment to that, but
So the journey must have been, I have to talk about the journey.
Yeah.
You know, so when you started back then, nobody else was doing it.
Yes, not
at
too
this
many.
scale.
Not too many people. I mean, it wasn't my first instrument, so I had been playing every other instrument, the keys, the drums. Actually, the trumpet was my major for a long time.
Okay.
But then I switched to the saxophone about 26, 27 years ago in a church called Revival Assembly when we were in Orisha in Ikeja. Yeah.
Okay.
So I picked it, learned in, you won't believe this, but in 4 days.
4 days?
Yes, because I already knew music. I was playing trumpet, and I just did a switch over, and then we've been, pals.
So, but how has the journey in the music industry been for you for 27 years?
So it's been wonderful. Like I was saying to you, 20 years ago, I signed my very first record deal with Kenny's Music. When I released the song, I started with Oluwaku Ishe Owe. And but before that, I'd done sessions with King Gwasiu. I'd done with Onyeka Onwenu, Blessed Memory, Ras Kimono. I actually taught him some saxophone. I worked with everybody. I was a proper session man. I played in clubs. Also, I played in church. That has been very consistent. My going out to play was just the quest to play nice music, just to explore my musical thing. So, yeah, 2020, it's been a wonderful 20 years. It's been a wonderful journey.
So a lot of other musicians, especially in this wind instrument field, attribute jazz music being profitable to you. Now, it feels like a heavy responsibility for you to have started with it, likely probably going for shows where you weren't even getting paid, but just for the love of the instrument.
Exactly.
So how were you able to make it a profitable business?
So I think one of the things is that it stood out when I started it. Not like now you have sax players everywhere, which is, something of joy to me. It stood out. And anything that stands out will attract money. So at the time, I just dared to do, to make this to do this style of music, to play the saxophone as a lead instrument. So I think that helped, and of course, at the beginning, yes, like you said, I before I started as an artist, I was really a session guy. So a few people in the industry knew me. The real musicians knew me. So I actually started making money with saxophone a long time ago. Because I did sessions, there were not too many of us. I could count, there was one late Papa Tex Bex, very old man. There's a guy, I see, Tunde, what's his name? You know, just not too many of us, but I was the youngest, you know, so it was easy. And, you know, I had people, I played with Sammy Okoski, because we played in the same church. Sammy was more on the keys then. And Sammy, Abuola, Shadari, Benga, where was, you know, that group we had, you know, we did a lot of this. So already I was, you know, in a subtle way introduced to the industry. And when I released my album, Kenny's Music did a great work because they just, you know, blew it.
So what would you say in your career so far, what would you define as the lowest point that you had been in?
Yeah, you see, there were many lowest points.
No, what's the one that when you think about it, it still shakes your core?
I mean, it's sometimes a disappointment of when you put so much and then you get not as much. Put it that way. That's just a summary of the disappointments. When you put so much and you expect, you know, and then you don't get as much. Sometimes it can be very, very discouraging. That's how I would simply put it. So and it's common with my low moments. So, you know, your expectations are not met, you know, and, you know, of course, personal things as well in life. Yes.
I have to, I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I wanted to, I actually almost just lost my train of thought. I didn't want to lose it.
Yes.
But there's this thing that you started, Sax Appeal.
Yes.
Now, Sax Appeal was the first time that people knew that there was an event you go for regularly.
Yes.
And it's just about jazz music.
Yes.
And I felt like that was a heavy risk
Oh, it was a major risk.
All right. So how were you able to get support for that? And then how come you stopped it?
So I haven't really stopped it. It's just, you know, kept it.
Paused it.
That's the word. Yeah, see, it's just one thing I've tried in my career. I've realized I've taken so many risks, and which have paid off. I mean, if it didn't pay with me as much, it paid with people who came after.
Absolutely. And
for me, that's a blessing. That's, you know, if I've been able to affect somebody, what I've done has encouraged somebody to do whatever, and they succeed in it. I'm happy, I'm glad. I was touring in the UK with a band, and we sold out venues in the UK, we sold out, you know, and I thought, why can't we do this in Nigeria? So we came to Nigeria, I called it Sax Appeal. Wow, wonderful name. The first one in Muson Center, 2000, exactly 10 years ago. And it was successful, it was sold out. I had Judith Septima from South Africa, I had one lady, Yolanda Brown, from, you know, it was wonderful. Second one, sold out. Third one was Muson became too small for us. And I said, I promised, I opened my big mouth to say, we're bringing Kenny G the next year. And it wasn't a joke. And, you know, by God's grace, Kenny G came. It cost an arm and a leg. I mean, prior to that, I'd only seen this guy, I've only listened to his CD, and I just loved and connected with the guy, you know, but to now see me, you know, actually bring him to Nigeria, you know, that was a major project. I got a lot of support, you know, from people, but because it was an expensive event, you know, because of you're bringing out an individual doing it, not a major sponsor for any company or anything like that. So it was really tough, but we pulled it out. And after then, my last one was 2016 in Diari.
In Diari, yes.
You know, so that was also great, but that's what I was talking about, not having, you would have expected that, okay.
You know what? It's 20 years since you released your first album. How are we celebrating? Are we grooving? Are we partying?
Oh yeah, 22nd of December.
Okay, that's her
my
birthday.
That's the best way to celebrate your birthday. I promise you.
So where are you taking us
you
to?
put me in front.
Yeah, right. I want to be seen.
In front.
I don't mind. All right, let's take a walk to the kitchen.
Okay.
So I know you're at Mike Aremu on Instagram, I believe.
Yes.
All right. And there'll be all our pictures will be there as we're smiling at the celebration.
So while you were here, I had somebody who was telling me of the days of little beginnings, and it's a very inspiring story. Very inspiring story.
Thank you.
Welcome. It's good to have you.
Oh, I can sit down.
Here.
Okay. Why is everybody else not sitting?
You're the guest.
Any turn.
Any turn. Pardon me. You want a seat for any turn?
Oh, no, sorry. I'll hold her.
No.
All right.
You don't let anything go.
All right. So we have Chef Duchess here who prepared something very healthy. She's a vegan, by the way. And can you tell us about this? What is this, and how did we get to the stage?
Okay, so we've already done the frying of the akara taco. So
Okay.
it's a soft taco, not the hard type. So basically what we've got now is ones that I just made.
Okay.
But I'm going to show people how I put it together.
Okay.
So
while he tries that out.
while you're trying that.
Wow. How did you get akara
Only-
to look like pancake? No, seriously, I thought it was pancake. Wow, that's crazy.
Akara taco.
It's sure.
Yeah, so literally, it depends on what you want, you know, to put in as your filling. But this is what I would use myself. So I would just layer it.
You would put cucumbers.
Yep. And tomato and more.
Really
cucumber.
healthy.
So put some of that.
Why are you giving me this on set?
You want to be behind the scenes.
That's a real one. That's a real one.
Good, right?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's actually
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So you said an album launch or something? What's
No,
it?
his 20th anniversary.
Whoa, wonderful. Are we
Yes.
invited?
We have to.
Are we
Talkboy is
invited?
invited. You guys have to buy tickets.
Yeah,
The rest of you will
no.
buy tickets.
Wonderful.
It's my
So
birthday.
So you don't know I have a middle name and it's anything.
So we're namesakes.
Did you not say that,
We are
Mike?
namesakes. So let's have a good. I have the first right of my name is Mike.
Mike. Oh,
Both
wow.
of us are
Everybody
Mikes.
Mike,
should
okay, okay.
So
we're
there
all
are,
claiming names.
we have the real man.
Yes, no, all Mikes. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say one more thing.
Okay,
It's
all right.
up to you if you want to put like ketchup, mayonnaise, whatever. But I keep mine very simple.
Healthy.
Yeah, so it's a high protein breakfast that you can have and enjoy.
Wonderful.
So-
And
Was it
it's
good?
hashtag vegan.
Vegan.
Yes.
It was a wonderful learning experience for me today from Chef Duchess. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mike Karamo, for being on the show. Thank you for being a part of this show. Our midweek edition comes up tomorrow. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Bye.